Hey guys, my name is Lydia and I'm from Kent, Washington. I'm a senior studying computer science at George Fox, and this week I'm going to show you what it looks like to be a student at George Fox University. Alright guys, it's Monday morning. I'm on my way to my only class of the day, ceramics. It's a ton of fun and a really nice break. Something that I really like about electives at George Fox is you can take a wide variety of them, and so they're not always like classes in your major. But yeah, ceramics up next. So I'm in ceramics class, and today we're going to fix this because I made it and then it chipped. But I'm also going to work on the wheel a little bit. You can see behind. But I'm going to bring you guys over to Holly. See what Holly's doing.
He thought that was awesome. And he was just establishing credit.
Hi, Holly.
Good morning.
Show us what you're doing.
We're working on some pottery. I'm glazing our options.
Wow.
I have some little pieces and some teacups to make.
Ooh, the teacups. Show them the me and the you.
This one's your cup, and this one's my cup.
Incredible.
Because we don't want to argue about sharing.
Right now, it's 7:45 a.m., about 15 minutes until my first class. I definitely woke up 15 minutes ago, but I found that in a dorm especially, it's usually enough time to brush your teeth, take a shower, get ready. I do recommend waking up earlier than just 30 minutes before your class if you want a good healthy breakfast though. So a little bit about my morning routine. Here's my room. That's my roommate Sarah. Hi. Sarah's great. So after I wake up, I take a shower, go to the bathroom. Things I would recommend about taking a shower in a dorm. Bring flip-flops. Flip-flops are a great life hack. After I wake up, I like to check my Google Calendar and the weather. I have 2 classes, then I have a lot of homework to do, a 3rd class, and then I have a badminton game tonight for intramurals. So you'll get to follow me throughout my day, see what a computer science class looks like. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I gotta pack my backpack and run out the door. All right guys, this is our first class of the day, 8 a.m., so exciting. Would you recommend taking 8 a.m.s, Nathan? Okay, this is databases. This is a class in the computer science major. Our professor brings in coffee for us every morning, which is great. There's Kimberly getting coffee. Say hi, Kimberly.
Hello, Kimberly.
Stunning.
Didn't even do it right.
This is our class. We sit in these nice little space chairs. Okay, we just finished class. We're heading out now.
Hey, really?
Wait, Gabe, you don't want to be in this? Whoa, look, there's Matt. Okay. Hi, friends. Bye, Matt. This is Carly. She's also a computer science major. She's a junior.
Hello.
One of the best parts of George Fox is the incredible professors. This is Dr. Orr.
Hello.
He teaches computer science at George
This is
Fox.
gonna be really strange. How do I like it? I'm an alum, so I graduated years ago. I'm a big believer in it. Produced a lot of great students. What I like about it is really personal. I get to know the students. There's a really familial atmosphere between the professors too. So it's a nice place to work, nice students to work with. We have really high standards. Fun? I don't know.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We want to convince people to come to George Fox
Oh,
to
okay.
study computer science.
I see.
Okay, I'll let you guys get back to your stuff, but this
Super.
is real footage of a student being helped by a professor. See you guys later. One of the best parts of George Fox is the Bruin Den, because you can just walk in and find really cool people. This is Coleman. That's Joseph.
The Bruin Den's pretty great.
Yes. We
Make
should spin it around so they can see what it
You
looks
have to make sure you come here when you're feeling ready to see people.
Yeah.
Although right now it's a little chill. But you will always find 5 or 10 people here that you know.
Yeah. It's a great place to study and get food. So one of my favorite things about George Fox is you can just be walking along and you'll see your professors and you can just say hi. They're so friendly. Hi, this is Dr. Choi and that's Dr. Garcia. What do you guys teach?
Honors and philosophy,
Nice.
and I teach theology and in honors.
So I'm done with my computer science classes for the day. My next class is at 3. Right now it's 1:38 p.m. And so I'm gonna go do some homework in Chapters, which is a local coffee shop in Newburgh.
Copy.
Coleman is really excited about his coffee. Yeah, there's a lot of coffee shops in Newburgh, which is like one of my favorite things about Newburgh. There's always some place to go hang out with your friends, and there's always like a place to go do homework. So we're gonna go to Chapters. Joseph's here too. So I'm at Chapters now, and I'm going to be reading this book for honors in an hour. I'll get to show you guys a little bit what seminar looks like. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we meet in this incredible, okay. We meet in this incredible room, and today we're talking about this book. Yep. Yeah, Kaylee, what do you like about honors?
Oh, I was not expecting to be questioned. I like the just environment of being able to talk about how we interpret a book without much judgment.
Oh, dude, same.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. So we're gonna get back to seminar. We have another hour to go. Yeah. So that's a sneak peek of what honors is like. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. So this is the Maker Hub. There's a lot of study rooms in here. We like to do our homework in here because it's very spacious. There's a lot of little rooms that we can meet in with whiteboards. Gabe's gonna find us some rooms that we can do our homework with class, the class that we just got out of. Also, Gabe, introduce yourself.
I'm Gabe.
Gabe's also a computer science major. So in between classes is usually full of doing homework. Something that I like to do when I'm doing homework is put all of my assignments into a bullet journal. So every week I like make a little box for what I need to do each day, and that helps me organize what I need to do. And my Google Calendar is usually always open. I'm gonna talk about Google Calendar a lot this week. But yeah, so I guess for the next 2 hours or so, Gabe and I are going to work on database homework, computer architecture homework, and hopefully get that done before our next class at 12. 6:45, so I got out of honors a little while ago and just got done playing intramural badminton. This is Brett, he's my partner, also my boss. I guess I should introduce you in a more official capacity. So I'm an RA, which means I'm a resident assistant. I get to be in a hall with 30 other girls, and I do a lot of stuff.
You do a lot of stuff.
I do a lot of stuff. But
And
Brett
you
is
do it
my
well.
boss. Oh, thank you. Brett is my boss. So he's in charge of our RAs in our building. But he's also my badminton partner. And we just won. We just played, and we won pretty good, didn't we?
Yeah, they didn't give us much of a challenge.
Pretty much the end of my day. I have come back to my dorm. Newland. Here's Josh. He's on my staff. He's also an RA. Hit him up. He's a cowboy in real life. Incredible. And then here's Michaela. Hi, Michaela. Hey guys, so it's 2 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, which means it's basically the end of my week. All of my classes for computer science are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so once I hit 12 o'clock on Friday, pretty much it's my weekend. I would recommend getting ahead of homework on Fridays instead of using those afternoons. It's very tempting to go do whatever you want because it feels like the weekend, but it's a really good idea to do your homework on Friday afternoons so that you have all of Saturday and Sunday to do whatever you want and relax. But I figured I'd show you guys around my dorm room. So right next to the door we have this hook. We like to put our keys on a lanyard and then stick them on this hook so that whenever we're running out the door we don't forget our keys, because we get locked out of our rooms a lot if we don't remember our keys. So it's nice to have a hook right next to your door so that you can just grab your keys on your way out. Another handy dandy thing is having a full-length mirror right next to your door so that if you're running out in a super hurry in the mornings, you can just check yourself in the mirror really quickly before you go. Let's see here. As far as decorations go, I like using command hooks and command strips a lot because they don't leave a mark on the wall. So for like hanging things, I like to use hooks. But for everything else, I really like using Velcro strips. So you see I have these decorations. I just put command Velcro on the back and then on the wall. And it's super handy because you could just stick it on, stick it off, and very easy to remove, and you don't have to worry about hooks or things like that, especially for like flat things like that that are hard to just hang. Let's see here, what else is handy? Ooh, also as a computer science major, I really recommend bringing your own monitor to school and just leaving it in your room. My monitor's on Sarah's desk, but there's my monitor. It's just really handy, especially if you work on your laptop a lot, to have that second screen. And then it makes your room a little easier to do homework in. Something that we also use a lot in our room, we got a mini vacuum, and it's so cute, this little baby vacuum. Something that's also nice to decorate a dorm room with is plants. This is our Brazilian plant named Luca. Plants are a really nice option to decorate a dorm room with, and we have like plant shops downtown in Newburgh, so you can easily get some green friends. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's our room. It's super cozy. It's pretty big actually compared to most of the other dorm rooms on campus, so it's pretty spacious. But yeah, I definitely love living in a dorm. There's its ups and downs, like you don't have your own personal space like you would in a house, and you don't have a living room or a kitchen that's like all to yourself. But living in a dorm room is a lot of fun because you get a roommate most of the time. You get to live on a hall with a bunch of other girls. There's usually people around, stuff to do. Lots of things to do when you hang out. Good morning, everyone. It's 8:35 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and today I have a programming contest. So it's at George Fox and a bunch of other schools like OSU or Linfield or Lewis and Clark all send teams, and we all spend the entire day coding, and we compete against each other to see who can solve the most problems. And I can't record inside the competition, but I'll give you a sneak peek of what it looks like. So, what is it like to be a CS major at George Fox? I love it. The class sizes are very small. The teachers are super personable and like really willing to help all the time. The program itself is very rigorous, and so the people who graduate ready for the industry, which is something that I really appreciate. And yeah, because your class sizes, your cohort sizes are so small, you become really close to your classmates. So I'm pretty tight with a couple of my classmates. And you basically travel with the same group through all 4 years, with a couple exceptions, because you basically all take the same core classes, and they're usually all offered at the same time because there's not that many of us, so we all fit into one section of a class. I would say my favorite course that I've taken in my major would be software engineering, which is a class that I took my sophomore year, where the entire class was divided up into groups, into teams, and we basically pretended to be like a software development team where each of us played a different role. Like we would have a project manager or a client liaison or somebody who was like the tech support, and that was really fun. Like we basically got to pretend we were a team in the real world, and we got to go to a client, which in this case was my professor, and like work on a project for the client. That was a ton of fun and taught me a lot about what industry was going to look like. Yeah, so that's probably my favorite class. All the other classes are a lot of fun as well. They're not easy. It's computer science, but I learn a lot, and they prepare me really well for the internships. There's a lot of really good internship opportunities in this area since a lot of the companies have worked with George Fox before. So yeah, there's a lot of internship opportunities. If you work hard, you'll most likely be able to find one that fits what you like. So 2 years ago, I got to intern down in Florida, at Florida Tech, as a research assistant, and that was through an email that my professor sent out to all the CS students. So they're pretty plugged into what's going on. They usually like send out announcements about internships and things like that. So that's how I got my first internship. And my second internship was at Amazon in Seattle this past summer. And yeah, the classes that I took at George Fox leading up to that internship really prepared me for the interview process and for what the actual internship was going to be. So yeah, being a CS major at George Fox does take time, but it's very doable. I can fit in a lot of extracurriculars and electives with it. And yeah, you make a lot of really great friends and a lot of really great connections. The professors are incredible. They know what they're doing. They've all worked in the industry at some point, or most of them have. And they're just really invested in the well-being of each individual student. So being a CS major at George Fox has been a ton of fun and would highly recommend if you're interested in that. Hey guys, I just got here. This is Carly. You already met her earlier, but she's also a CS major. She's a junior, and she's volunteering today at the competition. Yeah. So we'll just go over here and meet a bunch of nerds. Okay. Hey! Danny and Ella, what do you guys like about studying CS at George Fox?
I like that it's a small community of people and that we get to like hang out and interact together.
I like that it's challenging and I get to hack things.
That pretty much wraps up the life of a computer science major. Thank you guys for following me for the last couple days to get a glimpse of what it looks like to study computer science at George Fox. Yeah, coming to George Fox was one of the best decisions I've ever made.